Hello everyone and welcome to class 8 history chapter number 6. The name of the chapter is The Great Uprising. So today in this video we will learn about the causes of the Great Uprising. So let's begin. First let us understand about the situation of the country by the mid 19th century. So by the mid 19th century the British had established as the supreme political power in India. So here we can see that by the mid 19th century the British had supreme political power in India. They are very much powerful, and the Mughal Empire existed only just for namesake, where the Emperor Bahadur Shah had his territory but he had no power at all. All the powers were in the hand of the British. Because of many reasons, the different section of the Indian society, they were unhappy because of the presence of British. The British have created many problems to different section of the society of the people. And now we will understand about what are the problem actually what they have created and why the different section of the people they were unhappy. What are the various reasons that we will understand now. So coming to each section of the society, first let us understand that the rulers, they lost their territories and all the territories were being captured by the Britishers, as we have learned in the previous chapter about the subsidiary alliance, by doctrine of lapse. By all these tricks and methods they have captured the territories. Then the nobles were also very angry because they lost their zamindari system. Next section of the society, that was the peasants, the farmers. They hated actually the British because they were exploited by the land revenue. They have to pay a huge land revenue to the Britishers and it was compulsory for them to make the payment. The tribal people were also very unhappy because they feared to threat their livelihood. They can be killed at any moment of time. Their village might be burned by the Britishers. These all cruelty were being done by the British. The craftsmen were angry because they had to compete with the goods from abroad. So as we have learned that many craftsmen and weavers, they became jobless and they had to compete with the machine made goods. So these things made them angry. Coming to the next section of the society, that is the sepoys. They were angry because they were very unfairly treated by the British officers. They were being treated in a very inhuman way and so they were unhappy. Now we can see here that these six section of the society, they were unhappy, and they are the rulers were unhappy, the noblemen, the peasants, the tribal people, the craftsmen and the sepoys. They all are very unhappy with the different behavior of the Britishers. So between the year 1757 and 1856, there were many revolts in different parts of the country, but the British suppressed them easily. During this period, from year 1757 to 1856, the people were not quietly sitting, they were revolting also. They were showing their aggressions, their anger on the Britishers. But somehow every time the British easily suppress the revolt or the uprising. These all things happened during the mid 19th century. Now let us understand about the causes of uprising. As the year 1857 was the biggest challenge to the British because it was the year in which the uprising started. The uprising by the people were due to the following reasons. There were many reasons for the uprising where the people have decided that they need to do something, they need to revolt against the British, and the reasons or the causes of uprisings were economic causes, there were political causes, social causes, religious causes, military causes, and immediate causes. So these are the causes which led to the uprising. And in this video, we will be learning about the first three causes of the uprising. The next three we will be learning in the next video. First, we will understand about economic causes. That what are the economic causes because of which the people were ready to revolt. We can see here that the peasants suffer due to high revenue demand and the strict policy of its collection. As a large amount of revenue, that is in the form of land revenue, was charged by the British government from the farmers. The farmers were very unhappy because of this revenue demand, and it was very strict policy. Also, you will be surprised to know that even when the crop failed because of any reason, might be flood or drought, then also the farmer were forced to pay the land revenue. So under that situation, what they are doing when their crops were like failed, then the farmers were forced to pay the land revenue, and in that situation they need to borrow money from the money lenders because anyhow they have to pay to the British government. Now if the farmer they were like unable to pay back the loan, so what they have to do? They will like if they are not able to pay back the loan, the money lender they used to take away the land of the farmer, and then the farmer they used to become landless. So this was such a poor situation the peasants were dealing with. The next problems were there with artisans and craftsmen. They were ruined by the unfair competition. And what were the unfair competition? If you remember, it was the Indian goods were costlier because it is not made on machine. As you remember, in the last chapter we have studied about the arrival of machines or industrial revolution, that clothes started to made on machines there in Britain, and all that machine made clothes were brought to India to sell there in Indian market. This was the reason why the people they were like interested to buy the British goods because it was less costlier also, and Indian goods were handmade and much more costlier. This was one of the major reason why the people they preferred to buy British good as they were much cheaper. So the traditional handicraft industry of India was destroyed because of the machine made goods which were made available there in India to sell in Indian market. The next economic cause was the old ruling classes were displaced by the British because by different policies and different tricks and methods they have captured all the territories. They have completely and made the kingdom to came, that is an end to that royal patronage was withdrawn. All the power were now in the hand of the British. So the people like priests, poets and musicians who were like working during the time of the king and queen, they lost their source of livelihood. These all are the various economic causes which led to the uprising. Because of this reason, the people, that is the peasants, the artisan and craftsmen and the old ruling class, they were ready to revolt, to fight against the British. The next cause is political causes. Under the political causes, please understand that many of the territories that were being like captured, or the process continues of capturing the Indian territories, and there was a displacement of ruling class. There it was a final end of the ruling class. There were no more king or queen who were ruling there in India. There was the dynasty of Mughals at that time, but it was just for name's sake because all the power were in the hand of the British. They have also used some of the trick called as subsidiary alliance. If you remember, in this subsidiary alliance, the ruler who have accepted the terms of subsidiary alliance, they lost their independence because their army were disbanded and they became dependent on the company for all its need. This was the condition of subsidiary alliance and also of doctrine of lapse. Under this strict enforcement of doctrine of lapse, it was Rani Lakshmi Bai who fought against the British, and she led the revolt in Jhansi because she don't want to bring this doctrine of lapse there in Jhansi. Also in Awadh, where Lord Dalhousie annexed Awadh in year 1856. And what he have done in his annexation, it was an act of betrayal or backstabbing by the British. Though the king of the Awadh have a good relation with the British, and the king was not like aware of that the British will do this backstabbing. But the British, being very selfish, they have captured Awadh also in this way. And by capturing Awadh, the sepoys, they were like, particularly the sepoys, they were very much hurt, and the people also were like hurt of Awadh because they were like not aware or like not ready to accept this backstabbing by the British. All these are the political causes. Coming to social causes, which is easy to understand as well. As we know, some of the rituals or practices which were done in India, which is called as sati, and no widow remarriage should be there in India. So these two practice or customs were like followed there in India. But as the British, they came and they started passing laws, and they passed the law which banned sati, to stop sati, and also they were like legalized the widow remarriage, that if a woman, her husband have died, then she can do the second marriage. This law was being made by the British. Also, they also started favoring the Western education, and this Western education should be encouraged to the women. Women should be encouraged to take a Western education. So all these old rituals were somehow getting hurt, or the sentiment of the people were being hurt because of the interference of the British. The British started interfering in the Indian social customs, and the customs we can see here is the custom of sati, that and the custom of no widow remarriage, and also the custom of no Western education to a girl child. But the British, they started actually interfering in all these customs of our country, and this created unrest in the citizen, in the people, among the people of India. The people also faced social discrimination. Now, what is the next thing? The people are also facing some social discrimination by the British. Like, for example, now what are the social discrimination? What type of discrimination they are facing or they were facing? Indians were not allowed to travel in first class compartments in trains. So it is one of the social discrimination. As Indian, they were not allowed to travel in first class compartments in train. Also, the educated Indians were not getting promotions. If a person is like Indian and much more educated, must get promotion, but he will not get promotion because he is an Indian. The next is the discrimination, that they were not or unable to get an opportunity to be appointed to higher post or to high posts. They were just given low post, and all the high posts were being reserved for the British or for the Britishers only. So because of all these reasons, educated Indians also turned against British. Because of all these reasons, this all the educated people, also the normal people, they wanted to revolt against the British, and these all are the social causes. So with this, we came to an end of first video of chapter number 6. With the help of this video, kindly complete your notes. Thank you.